So now that 2015's come to an end, people look back and review what happened in 2015. Let me just say this was a great year for roller coasters. We had roller coasters from Six Flags, Cedar Fair, and more. So stay tuned as Coasterzilla counts down all the roller coasters that came out in 2015 in the United States. So let's start off with Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair technically only added one new roller coaster in 2015, and that was Fury 325 at Carowinds. Fury 325 is a B&M Giga coaster at 325 feet tall, 95 miles per hour, and 6,602 feet of track. It is the world's tallest and fastest Giga coaster. However, it's not the only new experience on a roller coaster in the Cedar Fair park chain, because Cedar Point turned their stand-up coaster Mantis into their floorless coaster Rougarou. Rougarou is the exact same ride as Mantis, except for instead of it being a stand-up coaster, they gave it brand new floorless coaster trains. They also repainted it and gave it a new theme. So let's move on to Six Flags. Six Flags added 3 brand new roller coasters throughout 2015. Let's start off with Batman the Ride. Batman the Ride is the world's first SNS 4D free fly coaster. That means that you rotate forwards, backwards, and 360 degrees throughout the entire ride. So let's move on to Wicked Cyclone. Wicked the Cyclone is an RMZ conversion of the Cyclone. It stands 112 feet tall, 55 miles an hour, and has a 78-degree drop. Now, Wicked Cyclone technically isn't a new roller coaster because Six Flags New England already had a wooden coaster known as the Cyclone, so Rocky Mountain Construction came in and they revamped it to make it a better ride. And the same can be said for Twisted Colossus. Colossus was already a dueling roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain, but RMC came in, gave it an 80-degree drop, steeper and more intense elements, 2 inversions, and best of all, connected the 2 sides so that you ride both sides in one run. That leads to an almost 4-minute long duration. That is insane. Now, the only downside of this roller coaster is that it doesn't always duel, but it still is a fantastic roller coaster and is definitely one of the best at Six Flags Magic Mountain, if not the best. Now that we're done with those, let's move on to roller coasters that were not built by Cedar Fair or Six Flags parks. Let's start off with Cannibal at Lagoon. This is Lagoon's tallest roller coaster and was built in-house. This roller coaster is famous for having the steepest drop in America at 116 degrees. It's also famous for its Lagoon roll, which is 2 slow-mo twisting inversions connected to each other. It's a one-of-a-kind element and can only be found on Cannibal. Now let's move on to Thunderbird. Thunderbird is the first ever steel roller coaster at Holiday World, and it is a launched wing coaster. It goes 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3.5 seconds and climbs a 140-foot tall Immelman. The ride has 4 inversions, 3,035 feet of track, and costs $22 million. It is, in my opinion, the best wing coaster in the world and is a great fit at Holiday World. Next up is Tempesta. Tempesta is a Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 clone and is located at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. 3 launches will accelerate you 62 miles per hour up a 150-foot hill into a slow-mo inversion. Plummet down an almost vertical drop and into a couple more elements before hitting the brakes. While it's less than 50 seconds, it sure does pack a punch. Next up is Impulse. This is the first ever steel coaster at Knoebels. While it looks a lot like a Eurofighter, it's actually built by Zierer, not Gerstlauer. Climb a vertical lift almost 100 feet and plummet into a beyond vertical drop and head through multiple inversions and elements before hitting the brakes. Knoebels needed a steel coaster and this gave them one. Almost done. Next up is Switchback. This is the first ever wooden shuttle coaster and is located at ZDT's amusement park. It has the steepest drop on any wooden coaster in the world at 87 degrees. The ride is only 67 feet tall and has only 1,175 feet of track, but it has a near vertical spike after the drop, and you get to experience the entire ride backwards after that spike. And finally, we have Laugh Track. This is an indoor spinning coaster themed to a funhouse at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania. This is a family coaster, so it's not that tall, only 40 feet, but it's indoors, it spins, and it has some nice theming to it. Considering Hershey Park's last coaster, Sky Rush, was pretty thrilling, it's nice that they went for the families with this ride. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later on Coasterzilla.